Quick, quick, everyone keep up, don't fall behind. Follow one by one, don't talk nonsense, don't escape without permission, otherwise, shoot without mercy. Someone from Dongqing District, City of Chaos in a block, a team of hundreds of people was advancing rapidly. The team was led by two old men. They were gorgeously dressed. With every move they made, a touch of spiritual power radiated out, giving people an extremely powerful feeling. These two people are the two elders of the Bella family stationed in the City of Chaos, the third elder John and the fourth elder Kennedy. Their abilities are respectively a 6th level senior spiritual master and a 6th level intermediate spiritual master. The more than 100 people following them were all generating fluctuations of spiritual power as they flew by, exuding an intimidating aura. These hundreds of people are all elite members arranged by the Bella family in the City of Chaos. Each one of them is stronger than a 4th level heavenly spirit master and can be called powerful. However, at this moment they are no longer as arrogant and domineering as the three major families before. Their faces are all extremely nervous, covered in cold sweat, and they look extremely embarrassed. In fact, the entire Bella family has hundreds of family members arranged in the City of Chaos. However, at this time they can no longer control so many of those at the bottom of the family, and the family cannot take them to escape with them. We can only send them away and let them escape on their own. After initially receiving the news of the death of Elder Herbert and Patriarch Clara, John and Kennedy were so frightened that they almost lost their wits. If the death of Herbert and the others was a shock to the rest of the ordinary people in the territory of chaos, it was horrifying to the two of them, who were members of the Bella family. As the news gradually came, after learning the truth of the matter and the news that Renault was seriously injured and unable to come to the family mansion to capture them, John and Kennedy quickly brought out all the treasures in the family mansion. And then led the elite disciples of the family to rush towards the East Gate. John and Kennedy knew that their only way to survive now was to break out of this chaotic territory and return to their family's territory before Naliai's strength recovered. There might still be a glimmer of hope. Hurry up, everyone be alert. As they got closer and closer to the East City Gate, John and Kennedy's heartbeats became faster and faster. After passing a corner, the East Gate of the City of Chaos appeared in front of John and Kennedy. However, the group of teams guarding the East Gate made their hearts sink suddenly. No way, are Jace and Lei so fast? The two people's hearts jumped suddenly. After taking a closer look, they discovered that the leader of the group seemed to be Otto, the second elder of the Baiyuan family. Why are the Baiyuan family waiting at the gate of the city if they don't kill Jace and Lei from the Kang's family? Both of them felt something bad in their hearts. Haha, John, Kennedy, we have been waiting for you for a long time. Seeing a large group of people from the Bella family, Otto, the second elder, immediately let out a hearty laugh. Otto, what does it mean for your Baiyuan family to guard the city gate and prevent people from getting out? John, Kennedy, and others said with angry looks on their faces. What did you say you were doing? Of course I'm waiting to kill you. Otto said with a smile on his face, but there was a hint of coldness in his eyes. This Otto, John and Kennedy looked at each other, with a hint of murderous intent in their eyes. There are only dozens of members of the Baiyuan family waiting at the East City Gate. The only one with strong strength is Otto, who is a 6th level intermediate spiritual master. With the strength of the two of them and the more than 100 family members behind him, elites are definitely capable of breaking through this East Gate. Kill John and Kennedy both had cold murderous intentions in their mouths, and the swords in their hands erupted with rays of spiritual power, aiming at Otto and slashing away. More than 100 family members following the two of them also drew their weapons from their waists and rushed forward like a swarm. Suddenly, the sound of killing was deafening. However, there was no fear on the face of the Baiyuan family elder Otto. Instead, he stood there quietly, staring coldly at John and Kennedy who were rushing towards them. There was a hint of fear in his eyes. The light of mockery. Just when John and Kennedy were about to rush in front of Elder Otto, Suddenly, John, Kennedy, it's time for you two to die. A roar like thunder suddenly sounded above the two of them, and then, a flame like a raging dragon roared at the two of them. Chief Reagan, didn't he go to the Cons family to kill Jace and Ray? John and Kennedy both had frightened faces on their faces, and they both raised their hands as they roared. Weapons to resist. Boom, the huge tongue of fire instantly engulfed the two of them, and also affected the dozens of elite members of the Bella family who were following closely behind them. Shrill screams sounded at the East City Gate, and the dozen Bella family members were burned to ashes under the bombardment of Reagan's fire dragon. The flames quickly dissipated, and the fourth elder Kennedy, who was a 7th-level intermediate spiritual master, fell to the ground covered in charred black, his body twitching constantly, while the third elder John was half kneeling on the ground holding a long sword, with blood at the corner of his mouth. He was in a mess. In the sky, Reagan was floating there, staring coldly at John and Kennedy below. As for the remaining nearly 100 members of the Bella family, they were already standing aside in fear and at a loss. Reagan once again raised the fiery red sword in his hand. Chief Reagan, slow down and take action. Seeing that Reagan was about to take action again, John, the third elder of the Bella family, shouted hurriedly. My Bella family is willing to cooperate with your Bayuan family to take down Najis and Lei. Now Lei has been seriously injured under the attack of Elder Herbert and the others. As long as our two families work together, we can definitely take down if the Kongsi family is wiped out, then you, the Reagan clan, will be the only king of the entire Chaos Territory, and the Bayuan family will become the most powerful family in the Chaos Territory. I wonder what Patriarch Reagan wants. Oh? The two of us. Cooperate with one family to wipe out the Kongsi family? Reagan said indifferently, what a good idea. John's heart suddenly became happy, but before a smile appeared on his face, a wave of powerful fire spiritual power, the sword light quickly split Elder Kennedy, who was seriously injured and fell to the ground beside him, into two halves. You want me to kill Jace and Mr. Lei, Reagan snorted coldly, kill them for me, leave no one behind. John's face showed anger and horror, and then, boom boom boom, John suddenly rushed into the house on the side, using all the strength of the 6th-level senior spiritual master, constantly passing through the walls of the connected houses, knocking out big holes one after another. Want to escape? Reagan sneered and slashed down with the sword in his hand. Die. The huge raging flame dragon instantly smashed the house where third elder John was into countless rubble fragments, revealing John's figure. Then a fiery red sword flashed past and cut off John's head. The headless body fell down with blood spraying all over the ground. Reagan possesses the dragon flame sword, an advanced spiritual weapon of Shanpin, and his strength is comparable to that of a 7th-level intermediate imperial spiritual master. It is natural that he can kill John, a small 6th-level senior spiritual master, without any effort. Without John and Kennedy, the battle at the East City Gate was nothing short of a massacre. In a matter of seconds, nearly 100 elite members of the Bella family had all fallen into a pool of blood. Gather all the belongings of these people and send them to the Kongsi family's mansion. No one should be missing. No one is allowed to touch it without permission. No matter who the offender is, I will not forgive him lightly. Reagan hoped. Otto and other family members behind him snorted coldly. Yes. Amidst the loud responses from Otto and others, Reagan flew away and continued to inspect the entire city of chaos. While Reagan and other members of the Kitahara family were maintaining order in the city of chaos and massacring members of the Per family and Bella family, Jason was sitting cross-legged in the laboratory of the Kang's family mansion at the moment, constantly running the spirit in his body. Strength, calm your mood. On the experimental table in front of him, a large number of elixir materials were piled there, and the most conspicuous one was the ghost grass contained in a white jade box. Gandalf, on the other hand, watched from afar. The next thing Jason wants to prepare is the 7th-level Imperial elixir, the Enlightenment Potion. In the Stern Continent, from the first-level spiritual disciple to the sixth-level spiritual master, each level of promotion is mostly a simple accumulation of spiritual power. When the spiritual power in the meridians in the body reaches a certain amount, it will break through to the next level of meridians, and the nature of the spiritual power will change to a certain extent. Such a process is just a simple accumulation of spiritual power, a change from quantitative change to qualitative change, and at most some understanding and mastery of how to control spiritual power. However, after being promoted to the seventh-level Imperial Spirit Master, each level of promotion in the future will no longer be a simple superposition of spiritual power, but more of an understanding of the realm. For example, the seventh-level spiritual power merges with heaven and earth, and the eighth-level construction of elemental barriers involves the rules of spiritual power. At this time, each spiritual master needs to understand his own attribute spiritual power. This perception potion is a spiritual potion that allows spiritual masters to better comprehend the next realm, and the main material of this perception potion is this ghost grass. The soul is a very peculiar existence. It is the evolution of extremely powerful spiritual power, but it is not just that. Ghost grass contains a material component that can directly affect the soul. This material component is generally extremely difficult to destroy, so most elixirs made from ghost grass have a side effect, which is to nourish the soul. Therefore, Jason was not worried that the wounds on his father's soul would not be healed when the time came when he prepared this potion of enlightenment. I don't know how long it took, but Jason, who had been running the spiritual power in his body, suddenly opened his eyes, stood up suddenly, and then set his eyes on the pile of materials in front of him. A ray of light suddenly burst out from Jason's plain eyes, without any ripples. After brewing for a long time, Jason finally moved. There are not many materials required for the enlightenment potion, only a dozen simple ones, but it involves the balance of elements between the materials, which is not something that ordinary elixir masters can master. Ash leaves and other materials, each of which is of extremely high value and is quite rare on the mainland. In fact, in the science of elixirs, there are not many elixirs using ghost grass as the main material, and some even it is much more effective than the enlightenment potion, but in order to restore his father's strength as soon as possible, Jason decided to prepare the enlightenment potion based on the materials he had and his own strength at the moment. Jason began to prepare the first one. The task was to classify a large pile of herbs placed in storage instruments on the experimental table. Seeing Jason's phantom movements, Gandalf's eyes suddenly lit up. He held his breath tightly, not daring to make even a single sound. As a fifth-level master of elixirs, Shatidian's voice deeply knows how important the seemingly ordinary classification of herbal medicines is in the preparation of elixirs. In elixirs, the preservation conditions of any material are different. Some cannot be exposed to the air, some must be under certain temperature conditions, and some even need to be soaked in a certain solution, such as ghost grass, which needs to be stored in a jade box, using ordinary used glass or crystal containers to preserve the ghost grass. I am afraid that within a day, the ghost grass will be completely emptied and lose its efficacy. Moreover, the environment required for the preservation of ghost grass is extremely cold, so when Jason opened the white jade box, there would be cold air coming out, which was generated by the ice spiritual power array engraved on the white jade box used by the patriarch to store the ghost grass. The cold air keeps the ghost grass in the box at a certain temperature all the time. However, when preparing it, according to the needs of the preparation, unless there are particularly special materials that must always be kept in a certain environment, elixir masters usually at the beginning, you need to take out all the materials, then classify them and place them like ghost grass. Although it is placed directly in the air, its medicinal effect will gradually weaken, but most of the time, before preparation, the elixir, they will take it out of the jade box, instead of waiting for it to be used in the middle of the preparation, then hurriedly opening the jade box and taking it out. The preparation of the elixir is an extremely delicate process, and every detail, any mistake will lead to the failure of the preparation. Jason's speed is extremely fast. After a moment of effort, all the materials needed have been placed on the experimental table. Master Jace is indeed worthy of being Master Jace. See, after placing the herbs on the table in order, Gandalf's face suddenly flushed with excitement. When it came to the preparation of the elixir, Gandalf knew that it was impossible to compare with Jason, but in some aspects, especially in the classification of herbs on the other hand, as a master of elixirs, Gandalf still has his own pride. Growing up in the territory of chaos, he has been exposed to a large number of materials and herbs that are inaccessible to the great elixirs since he was a child. He once deliberately used herbal medicines. After a lot of research on the characteristics and classification of herbal medicines, he has decades of experience in this field. He can guarantee that even the patriarch of the Curie family, Pierre, cannot compare with his expertise in the classification of herbal medicines. In terms of herbal classification, Gandalf has an almost paranoid pride. When making preparations, many elixir masters like to place the materials to be used in the order of preparation so that they can be added to the reaction as quickly as possible. In fact, this approach is extremely wrong. However, Jason's previous performance shocked Gandalf. Jason's arrangement of the herbs was completely different from those of ordinary alchemists, especially when he noticed a detail and assigned it to the stars. Jason actually consciously put the baby's breath and 6 color flowers together. This is a detail that cannot be ignored. Even Gandalf himself gradually figured it out not long ago. The baby's breath was exposed in the air. When the elixir is released, some juice will automatically overflow. These juices are highly corrosive, so under normal circumstances, elixir masters put gypsophila in the elixir bottle. However, there is an exception in one case. When an elixir requires when using gypsophila and 6 color flowers at the same time, you can put the gypsophila and 6 color flowers together, because this juice will not corrode the 6 color flowers, but will help the medicinal properties of the 6 color flowers. During the preparation process, this would save the elixir master a lot of effort. Jason did not place the remaining ingredients in the order they were prepared, but formed a weird combination that made Gandalf see. He was stunned, and even the placement of 2 materials made it difficult for Gandalf, a man who boasted himself to be unparalleled in the field of herbal classification in the territory of chaos, to understand. However, when Jason was preparing it, Gandalf was naturally not easy to ask, but silently remembered that the speed of Jason's preparation was not fast, and every process was neither urgent nor slow, which made Gandalf frown slightly. In front of the experimental table, the ash leaves were carefully used by Jason with instruments. Mash it into pieces, weigh it with a precision instrument and mix it into the juice of gypsophila. Then pour it into the mixing bottle and start the long heating process. During this process, Jason has been carefully adjusting the flame temperature with the instrument, as if it had been accurately measured. Each adjustment was just enough to bring the juice in the preparation bottle to a semi-boiling state without causing bubbles to appear. At the same time, his other hand did not stop. The star vine was put into the preparation bottle first, followed by the 6 color flower, and then the field Yellowstone powder. It was a completely step-by-step process. The entire preparation process was no different from the orthodox preparation process of ordinary elixirs. Gandalf was stunned. After following Jason for so long, Gandalf also knew quite a bit about Jason's preparation method, whether it was when preparing the ultimate potion or the regeneration potion. Jason mainly focused on the technical spirit medicine, and the spiritual spirit medicine as a supplement. The technical spirit medicine has distinct characteristics, rarely adds spiritual consciousness, and has dazzling movements. Beautiful, sometimes gentle and elegant, sometimes full of powerful beauty, especially the method of transforming into countless phantoms, which makes people dazzled and overwhelmed. It is completely different from the traditional spiritual medicine preparation method used by Jason in the past. The preparation process will definitely be dazzling and unusual, making it difficult for Gandalf to understand, but this time, Gandalf clearly understood the process of each part, which made Gandalf find it difficult to accept for a moment, such as the smashing of ash leaves. Jace first carefully weighed a certain amount of Ash Village leaves with an instrument. Then chopped them into pieces and put them into the mashing instrument. He slowly ground and mashed them. The whole process was simple and orthodox for Gandalf to accept. However, in Gandalf's imagination, if it was Master Jace in the past, there would definitely be a phantom flashing in front of his eyes. The originally neat ash leaves completely turned into pulp and entered the preparation bottle. Instead of being like now on the side, Gandalf was confused. At the experimental table, Jason's nerves were stretched to the maximum. The Enlightenment Potion is a 7th level Imperial Spirit Potion. If Jason uses the combination of technical flow and spiritual consciousness as he did in the past, with Jason's current physical strength of the 7th level Imperial Spiritual Master level and the 4th level Advanced Spiritual Consciousness strength, basically there will be no problem, but at this moment, Jason is completely using the preparation method of spiritual consciousness and spiritual medicine to prepare the Enlightenment Potion, using the 4th level Advanced Spiritual Consciousness to prepare the 7th level Spiritual Medicine. If Jason's move passes when we go to the mainland, I'm afraid all the elixir masters in the entire continent will scold Jason for his nonsense, and then wish to slap him. But at this moment, Jason in front of the experimental table was nervous, but in his heart, he was not at peace. The spiritual potion in the brewing bottle was constantly reacting, emitting waves of spiritual energy. Jason watched every reaction in the brewing bottle with all his concentration, and then substituted that reaction into his own derivation on the steps of the Divine Medicine Palace. In Avogadro's law, based on the results obtained by Avogadro, and in turn verifying the progress of the reaction and the amount and time of the next material to be added to prepare each step in the bottle, it is all for Jason was extremely excited. Using Avogadro's law to control the reaction process was Jason's sudden idea before making the preparation. Originally, he just had an attitude of giving it a try, but he came to the conclusion the result was that he was stunned that he, a spiritual medicine master with only a 4th level advanced spiritual consciousness, had completely abandoned the method of technical spiritual medicine and used spiritual knowledge to successfully prepare the medicine until now. The biggest contributor to the whole process was its Avogadro's law. In fact, with Jason's current spiritual consciousness, some of the reaction processes in the sewing bottle are beyond his ability to analyze. However, Jason did not analyze it, but relied entirely on Avogadro's law. According to the derivation of Gadro's law, when it was deduced that materials must be added, Jason added the materials, regardless of the extent of the reaction in the preparation bottle. In the tense preparation, all the materials were integrated one by one. In the preparation bottle, the reaction has reached the final key point, adding ghost grass. This is an extremely important place. Jason did not dare to be careless at all. Jason did not have only one kind of material before returning to the technical flow of spiritual medicine. Even if he failed, he could start over again, but there was only one ghost grass. Once if he fails, the potion of enlightenment cannot be prepared successfully, and his father's trauma cannot be cured. With a wave of his big hand, the translucent ghost grass like empty clouds flew into the air, and countless phantoms flashed around the ghost grass like lightning. As he moved, a large amount of sweat suddenly oozed from Jason's forehead in front of the experimental table. In the strong wind, the ghost grass quickly condensed into a white bead, and then inserted into the reaction bottle. Daofu's heart suddenly rose to his throat. Success or failure, to be continued rumble. A shocking energy shot up into the sky at the moment when the white beads turned into ghost grass fell into the potion bottle. This was a unique spiritual power that penetrated directly through the roof of Jason's laboratory and hovered. In the sky above the chaotic city, the powerful spiritual power was like a tornado, which could be clearly heard throughout the chaotic city. In the hall of the Curie family mansion, a group of members of the Curie family gathered together to discuss the family's plans. The leader of the Chaos Territories countermeasures was an old woman who was the 5th elder of the Curie family, and Maria, the 6th-level low-level elixir master. Just when everyone was speaking one after another, Maria suddenly standing up on the ground, he looked at the sky above the Kongsi family mansion. This is Maria's eyes flashed with incredible feeling, and the rest of the people in the hall felt this powerful spirit. The fluctuations all stood up, with expressions of surprise and uncertainty on their faces. Could the direction of the king's family mansion be emanated from the thunder? Someone in the hall wondered aloud. They thought, such a powerful mental fluctuation, also only Renaud, who was a 7th-level intermediate imperial spiritual master, could send out the spiritual potion. At the back of the crowd, Archimedes, a direct descendant, was also in the hall, but 3 words popped out of his mouth: elixir potion. Are you saying that this mental fluctuation is caused by the elixir? Are you kidding me? Some people didn't bother to say anything. Archimedes did not refute, but just stood there quietly, with light shining in his eyes. Visions of heaven and earth, visions of heaven and earth, Master Jace has prepared an imperial potion again. Maria let out a long sigh. As a 6th-level low-level elixir master, she could feel this huge potion. The mental fluctuations were clearly the vision of heaven and earth when the imperial potion was born. Everyone present showed shocked expressions, but a few people looked back at Archimedes at the back of the crowd, full of doubts in their hearts. Even though he, a 5th-level elixir master, didn't feel it, how could Archimedes know that the mental fluctuations were caused by the elixir? With this mental fluctuation, Master Jace has prepared an imperial potion again. Over the city of chaos, Patriarch Reagan, who was constantly patrolling, searching for the remnants of the Pear family and the Bella family, looked at the Kongsi family's mansion, with a look on his face. Full of emotion, continue patrolling. Since I have decided to belong to Master Jace, the stronger Master Jace is, the greater the benefit will be to me. Reagan murmured in his mouth, and in the blink of an eye, he disappeared into the sky. This is what a powerful spiritual power fluctuation. At this moment, all the people in the entire city of chaos also felt the spiritual fluctuations coming from the Kongsi family mansion. They didn't understand what was happening. Hiding at home, wondering what happened in the laboratory, looking at the bottle of milky white elixir placed in front of him, Jason was happy but also full of shock. Avogadro's law, Dro's law, he murmured to himself. The ancient book once said that as long as you completely master Avogadro's law, you can perfectly master the laws of elixirs. For thousands of years, countless elixir masters have been obsessed with it. Research on Avogadro's law, however, the final conclusion is that Avogadro's law is one of the 10 most absurd discoveries in the history of mainland elixirs. Even Jason in his previous life thought that Avogadro's law was a spoof of an ancient elixir master. But at this moment, Jason was completely shocked that he, who only had a 4th-level advanced spiritual consciousness, could the elixir master, relying solely on his spiritual consciousness and the derivation of Avogadro's law, successfully prepared all the steps before the 7th-level imperial potion, except the last step. Such a powerful law is by no means an ordinary spiritual medicine. Jason, who was able to study the medicine master, even felt that as long as he mastered all the 1080 formulas of Avogadro's law, with his current strength, he could prepare a 9th-level holy-level potion to cure the disease. Sen had this feeling in his heart: what is the history of ancient spiritual medicine? Who created Avogadro's law? The god of medicine, if you master all of Avogadro's law, you can combining this with the technology of spiritual medicine, can he reach the realm of the 10th-level medicine god? Jason murmured to himself, and his heart couldn't help but be filled with daydreams. As Jason continued to work hard and make progress in the territory of Chaos Orlando Kingdom, in the yard of Jason, the Todd family mansion, Claire was holding a giant sword in her hand, and she was constantly slashing. A lot of sweat flowed down her temples, soaking the leather armor on her body. It was wet, but she ignored it, her eyes were firm. Sister Claire, at this moment, a sweet sound like the ringing of wind chimes suddenly sounded outside the courtyard, and then, a man in luxurious clothes, the girl in the spiritual master's robe, ran in. It was Alice, the princess of the Orlando Kingdom, who had gone to the Eastern Kingdom with Jason to attend the Spiritual Medicine Master Conference. No, you are practicing again. Seeing Fong Lia's head full of sweat, panting all over, Alice couldn't help but reveal a wry smile on her face. Seeing Alice, Claire's eyes couldn't help but light up. Sister Alice, you came just in time. I'm worried that no one will train with me, so why don't we learn from each other? Alice couldn't help but smile bitterly in her heart, and said hurriedly, well, Sister Claire, I have to attend a banquet hosted by my father later, so I can't fight with you. Oh, so that's how it is. Claire couldn't help but show a hint of disappointment on her face, and then he continued to swing the giant sword in his hand and said, Sister Claire, come with me to the banquet. You will be exhausted after exercising like this all day long. Ever since Jason left, Claire has become obsessed with it for some reason. At the beginning, Alice only thought that Claire was doing it because it was fun or boring, and she would lose interest in a few days. However, Claire's hard work shocked everyone. Claire did nothing but eat and sleep every day. As Jason's maid, she has nothing else to do. She just practices hard all day long. And her cultivation speed puts some self-proclaimed geniuses to shame. In just over half a year, Claire actually having reached the level of a third-level low-level spiritual master, Leo and Di Lin were dumbfounded. For more than half a year, every time Alice came to see Claire, Claire was constantly practicing at the beginning. Alice is still interested in accompanying Claire to fight. With her third-level senior spiritual master strength, she can often win against Claire, who has no martial arts skills at all. However, what she finds unbelievable is that after 3 months, Claire, who was a second-level spiritual warrior at that time, was able to fight her to a draw. This does not mean that Claire's spiritual skills are strong, but that after constant training, Claire's power has grown to an indescribable and abnormal power, even stronger than the average 5th-level sect spiritual master. It is not what ordinary humans should have. With one strike from the sword, Alice has no choice but to surrender. This left Alice quite speechless. After hearing Alice's invitation, Claire said, No, Sister Alice, you better go by yourself. I still need to train so that I can help Master Jason in the future. Claire's eyes, there was a hint of determination in Jason when she heard the name. Alice bit her lips and snorted coldly, looking extremely angry. This brat, I don't know where he went. It's been more than half a year, and there is no news at all. What a bastard. Alice said angrily with resentment in her eyes, Father, that guy didn't tell me the news about Jason's whereabouts. They are all bastards. In depression, Alice left. After Alice left the courtyard, Master Jason, Claire stopped the giant sword in her hand and stared blankly at the distant sky. If Claire had the power at that time, I think you will bring it to me, Master. I'm going with you. Claire bit her lip hard to prevent herself from crying. Claire must work hard, Master Jason. One day, Claire will stand by your side and give everything for you, young man. Defeat the bad guy who bullied the young master. Looking at the sky, Claire was silent for a long time, with a firm expression. In the study of King Orlando's palace, His Majesty Lecent was sitting quietly on a chair, looking at the case file in front of him. Your Majesty, there was another case yesterday. A group of people with strange behavior entered the royal city. A dark shadow suddenly appeared in front of Lecent. It was the shadow that had been following Lecent. Lecent put down the case file and showed a sneer on his face. It should be again. A certain mainland force sent people over after hearing the news. Shadow, please arrange for people to keep an eye on me. As long as they don't cause trouble in the royal city, don't worry about them and let them investigate. Lecent seemed indifferent and said, Anyway, Master Jason is not in the kingdom at all. Even I don't know his whereabouts. I am afraid that even the entire Todd family, except Leo and Rost, no one knows. Let them investigate. Let's see what they can investigate. Yes, the shadow responded, and the figure gradually disappeared into the study room in the Arctic ice field. In the vast ice and snow of the continuous icebergs, a figure was suspended in the sky. The cold wind here was biting and biting. Even the 7th-level Imperial Spiritual Master did not dare to stay here for a long time. However, this figure had his upper body covered. The cold wind as sharp as a knife was blowing on his body, but he was completely unaware of it. Huh. Suddenly, he opened his eyes and turned to the right. The palm was violently slashed out, and the ice elements between heaven and earth became violent instantly, turning into a spiritual light and rushing towards an iceberg in front of it. Rumble. In the flash of spiritual light, the entire iceberg was instantly cut from it, and collapsed suddenly. Coming down, the figure shook his head. Holy step, how can we spy on that realm? The figure murmured. A gust of cold wind blew by, and the figure that was still floating there suddenly, the disappearance has disappeared. To be continued. This spiritual potion in the Consi family mansion, Renaud held the milky white enlightenment potion that Jason had prepared before in his hand. He felt the aura emanating from the spiritual potion with a hint of astonishment on his face. This is an extremely pure spiritual breath. Just smelling it, Renaud's traumatized soul felt extremely comfortable. Renaud could feel that as long as he took this spiritual potion, his pain would not only can Chuang's soul be healed, but it may even grow to a certain extent. This is the enlightenment potion I prepared previously. It has a great nourishing effect on the soul. Please take it quickly. Jason on the side said with a smile. Tyson and Gandalf in the room also looked at Renaud with expectant eyes. Renaud nodded, stopped talking nonsense, and took a sip of the milky white elixir. Gudong. As he swallowed, Renaud suddenly felt an extremely pure power enter his body, and then quickly came to the sky above the spiritual seat in his mind. Chi-Chi, under the nourishment of this pure power, in addition to the original feeling, after being severely injured, it seemed that a piece of soul power was missing, and it suddenly grew like a nutritious crop. The injured soul quickly made up for and nourished it, and the speed was simply shocking. This magical potion, Renaud said with a look of surprise on his face. He was about to speak out when suddenly, an extremely powerful golden power suddenly burst out from his body. Waves of overwhelming spiritual power were like waves, spreading out around Renaud's body as the center. The entire room was filled with violent spiritual elements. The spiritual elements within 100 meters radius formed a huge vortex and rushed madly towards Renaud in the center of the vortex, and were then absorbed into his body by Renaud. The powerful metal element was so powerful that Jason and the others couldn't help but retreat, not daring to get too close. Past Renaud's eyes were filled with astonishment. In his perception, all the spiritual elements in the world had formed some kind of persistent connection with him, and as time went by, this kind of the connection is constantly deepening. Countless spiritual elements are constantly flowing and lingering around his body, as if they have become his right and left arms, without any sense of incongruity or obstacle. At the same time, with the continuous flow of a large amount of spiritual power entering the body. The original 7th level intermediate spiritual power in Renaud's body gradually filled up and accumulated in the meridians. It continued to condense together and seemed to undergo some kind of change. This feeling Renaud murmured with his eyes shining brightly. At this moment, he felt that he and the whole world seemed to be completely integrated. The world was his body, and he was the core of the whole world. All the spiritual elements in the surrounding heaven and earth are part of his body, and he can control them at will. This feeling completely immersed Renaud in it, and he couldn't help but stretched out his hands. All the metal elements in the world are transformed into metal spiritual power under his control. Within a radius of 100 meters, the whole world was suddenly filled with golden light. At this moment, Renaud, the original 7th level intermediate spiritual power in the body, also boiled and became violent in an instant, transforming into a more powerful spiritual power, 7th level advanced spiritual power. An extremely powerful aura roared out from Renaud's body, and the powerful pressure was uncontrollably pressed on all members of the Kang's family within a radius of hundreds of meters. Is this the 7th level senior imperial spiritual master? This kind of power, in addition to the feeling of being completely integrated with heaven and earth, Renaud murmured to himself. The light in his eyes became brighter and brighter, and then he let out a cheerful expression. The sound of laughter, ha ha. No. The rumbling laughter sounded like thunder in the sky above the city of chaos. A sky-high energy rushed out from Renault's head, alarming all the people in the entire city of chaos. Master Lei felt the powerful coercion that Renault inadvertently exuded. Tyson and Gandalf on the side were so surprised that they were speechless, and then their eyes fell on Jason. Being able to prepare something that can make a 7th level, the elixir of the intermediate Imperial Spiritualist promoted to the senior Imperial Spiritualist. The enlightenment potion prepared by Master Jace is really. Tyson and Gandalf were so shocked that they didn't know how to describe the surprise that Jason brought to them. In fact, after being with Jason for so long, there were some things that the two of them were used to and wouldn't be too surprised about. But at this moment, this boy who was less than 20 years old once again impacted the limits of their imagination. Father, he has finally been promoted to the 7th level of Senior Imperial Spiritual Master. Jason murmured to himself on the side, his face shining with great joy. The Enlightenment Potion is actually just a spiritual potion that allows spiritual masters to comprehend the realm. After taking it, Renault, who is an intermediate Imperial Spiritual Master, can only comprehend the realm of a Senior Imperial Spiritual Master that completely blends the world. But in the final analysis, it is only an advance. It's just a matter of understanding, unlike Spirit Master Potion, Emperor Breaking Potion, Ultimate Potion, etc., which can directly allow the spiritual master to advance or increase the promotion probability of the spiritual master. But it happened that Lei had been cultivating in the mysterious metal space of Jintong Hall for 2 months. Fact. He had only reached the 7th level of Intermediate Imperial Spiritual Master. In that unique metal space, the abundance of spiritual power causes the speed of cultivation to be 10 times that of the outside world, but when ordinary spiritual masters practice, you don't practice from morning to night. There are many trivial matters and worries, but among them, Renault doesn't feel tired or hungry at all, and there is no day or night. Apart from practicing, he just practices. He continued to perform spiritual skills without understanding the basic secrets of mastering the skills of a gold spiritual master. 2 months was comparable to the average spiritual master's 4 or 5 years of training. Coupled with the life and death battle with Dai Ma Lu and Herbert, his strength reached an extreme. Finally, Jason's enlightenment potion allowed him to take this final step. Don't underestimate this last step. If Jason hadn't understood the potion, with Renault's talent, although the breakthrough is not a problem, it will take at least a long time. Renault fell from the sky and returned to the yard with a smile on his face. In the distance, a fiery red stream of light quickly came to everyone. It was the Reagan clan leader of the Bayuan family. Congratulations to Mr. Lei, congratulations to Mr. Lei. After feeling the powerful fluctuations in Renault's body, Reagan was all smiles, but his eyes fell on Jason in the crowd. Reagan, who personally sent the ghost grass, naturally knew the reason for Renault's advancement. In addition to being filled with admiration for Jason's powerful skills in elixirs, Reagan was filled with admiration. When he saw Renault before, Renault's voice was still seriously injured. However, at this moment, Renault's injuries were healed, and even his strength was improved. He was promoted to a high-level Imperial Spiritualist who had not appeared in the City of Chaos in the past 200 years, and all of this was due to the bottle of Imperial Potion that Jason had previously prepared. When he thought that he was following Jason as the best, there may be such an opportunity, and what makes Reagan excited is that he can't help himself. Master Jace, the remnants of the Bella family and the Per family in the City of Chaos have been almost wiped out. As for the other families such as the Rona family, the Coolidge family, and the Carl family that were originally conquered by these two families, they were huddled in their own mansions, and there was no movement. These families were suppressed by the Bella family and the Perret family in the last month, and the killings could not cause any disturbance at all. Naturally, they didn't dare to make any move, for fear that Jason and the others would be accidentally killed if they were dissatisfied. Not bad, Reagan, you did a good job. Jason looked at Reagan and nodded, with a look of approval on his face. and a faint sense of inexplicable pressure on his body. At this moment, Jason seemed to have returned to his previous life, and Li Yuan also became the one who followed him in his previous life. Those strong men, whether it was Jason's words or actions, seemed extremely natural. Feeling the pressure emanating from Jason, Reagan lowered his head inexplicably. For this young man with a plain tone, he felt in his heart with a hint of fear. Reagan whispered, "Master Jess has sent people over to remove some of the treasures carried by the Bella family and the Bella family's mansion. I have also sent people to guard the other major families. I don't know how the master plans to deal with them. If they are allowed to leave, with their influence in the territory of chaos, although master, you have controlled the entire city of chaos to eliminate mines. The strength of the adults is also unparalleled, but there will still be a lot of troubles. The territory of chaos covers a total area of nearly 10 million square kilometers, which is equivalent to 1/3 of the total area of the Northwest countries and half of the area of any empire on the mainland. It has more than 300 cities of various sizes and a total population of 200 million. Many. As the 8 major families in the territory of chaos, the Coolidge family controls a large number of forces in the territory of chaos. Even the Bella family and the Perret family, except for the last month, failed to control all of these major families. All the forces have been taken over. Although their clan leader and some powerful elders have been killed, all the forces in the territory of chaos cannot be eliminated in a short time. Therefore, although Jason has complete control of the city of chaos, it does not mean that he has control of the entire territory of chaos. It will still take an arduous process. Jason nodded. Of course, he knew clearly what Reagan said. Tyson and the others were not fools, and they naturally understood it. However, with the current strength of the Kang's family, apart from cooperating with Jason, there was no way for Renault to occupy the city of chaos. There is no problem. With Renault, a high-level imperial spiritual master, no one can run wild in the city of chaos. But if you want to occupy the entire territory of chaos, it is no more than a dream. It's good that Renault is powerful, but he can't kill all the members of the 8 major families in the more than 300 cities in the territory of chaos. Jason has no interest at all in fighting for hegemony. The reason why he controlled the city of chaos was just for the material logistics base of the territory of chaos. But at this moment, Jason had a good idea in his mind. The sky is dimly bright, and there is a fresh smell in the morning air. In November, the climate is gradually getting cooler. The early morning sun shines on people, giving people a feeling of vitality. On such a morning, in the past, the city of chaos always became noisy early in the morning. Everyone began to organize the day, and adventurers gathered in groups to see if there were any suitable tasks. However, on this morning, the sun has risen very high, but the city of chaos is still quite peaceful, without the noisy scene in the past. Everything that happened yesterday is still vivid in the hearts of everyone. The replacement and decline of a family like this is really common in the territory of chaos, but like yesterday, occupying the territory of chaos, the simultaneous demise of the Bella family and the Per family, which lasted for more than 1,000 years, still made all the people feel frightened and full of fear. Of the nearly 1,000 direct members of the 2 major families in the entire city of chaos, not a single one escaped, and they were all caught in a pool of blood. Such a bloody scene had not happened in the city of chaos for thousands of years. In fact, although the Bella family and the Perret family are 2 of the 3 major families in the territory of chaos, there were not many members arranged in the city of chaos in the past, only 300 in total. However, in the past month, the Bella family and the Perret family have risen strongly, integrating the original 8 major families such as the Coolidge family and the Rona family. For this purpose, hundreds of people came from the family territory. Direct lineage members. Originally, these hundreds of members felt complacent about being able to come to the city of chaos, the center of the territory of chaos, to show off their power. However, no one thought that what awaited them was an apocalypse. Therefore, before the situation was completely clear, all the people huddled at home, waiting for the new ruler to appear. The residence of the Khan's family. In the hall, Jason and Reno were sitting on the main seats, while Tyson, Gandalf, Reagan and others were standing in the hall. After a night of recovery, Tyson and Gandalf's injuries from Vincent's torture in the torture chamber were basically healed by Jason's powerful healing potion, although they were not fully healed. But it's no big deal. And after the integration last night, the entire city of Chaos has begun to calm down. The Purr family and the Bella family have all been eliminated. It can be said that the current city of Chaos is completely controlled by the Kangs family and the Bella family. Under the control of the Baihara family. Master Jess, Master Lay, and all the properties and elixir materials of the Purr family have been placed in the warehouse of the mansion. Chief Reagan also sent people to transport all the properties and elixir materials of the Bella family. They are also piled together, and the two masters can go and count them at any time. Chief Tyson said. Sen nodded. At this time, Chief Reagan took a step forward and said, Master Jess, the members of the Coolidge family, the Carl family, and the Rona family, who were originally controlled by the Pear family and the Bella family, are all under your supervision. I wonder what the master has decided to do. Jason said aloud, I have my own plans for the other major families. We will talk about these later. I plan to establish an Elixir Master Association in this chaotic territory. Tyson, you prepare it for me. For a moment. Elixir Medicine Association? Everyone present was stunned. It was obvious that they didn't understand the role of the Medicine Association that Jason mentioned. Jason took out a piece of paper from his body and said, This Spiritual Pharmacist Association is an organization similar to the mainland Spiritual Pharmacist Union, but the specifics are different. Every spiritual pharmacist in the territory of Chaos must be certified by the association. The spiritual medicine masters who become members of the association will be protected by the territory of Chaos. If they are not certified, the territory of Chaos will not recognize their legal qualifications. Any force has the right to compete for it. As for the specific things, they are all on this piece of paper. You all should take a look at it later. Tyson immediately stepped forward to take the paper, and started reading it with the curious people. This Spiritual Medicine Master Association. Any official spiritual medicine master in the territory of Chaos can become a member of the association. The association completely adopts contribution trading, and 6 contribution points can not only be used to trade materials, but also obtain the guidance of the Master of Elixirs and solve the problems encountered in the process of elixirs. This as they browsed through the content one by one, Tyson and others showed shocked expressions on their faces. This is a brand new system. Originally, they thought it was no different from the outside Elixir Union, but now they see it is completely different. The requirements for joining the Spiritual Medicine Master Association are very simple. As long as you reach the first level low-level Spiritual Medicine Apprentice and become an official Spiritual Medicine Master, all the Spiritual Medicine Masters who join the Spiritual Medicine Master Association will receive a membership card. On the card, there is the basic information and personal number of the elixir. Members can choose to complete the information. Of course, this is not necessary. If the elixir is unwilling, this does not affect its use. This will allow some elixir masters who do not want to reveal their identities to have too many worries. All elixirs with membership cards will have legal status in the territory of Chaos. Once in danger, they can go to the nearest association office to receive shelter. The association will protect them based on their contribution. The membership itself is not divided into levels, that is to say, the membership qualifications of a first-level elixir apprentice and a fifth-level elixir master are the same, but the association adopts a points system, that is, contribution value, and there are levels according to the level of contribution to the association. The differences and rights they enjoy are also different. Among them, the highest-ranking members will enjoy the highest-level protection of the association. Even if they offend a large family like the Perret family in the past, the association can still protect their safety. In the association, any transaction must be conducted through contribution value, that is, points. There are many ways to obtain points. You can sell materials to the association, you can also complete some tasks announced by the association, or you can solve some problems encountered by elixirs when preparing elixirs in the association. Even, every once in a while, the association itself will issue some simple small tasks. These small tasks are not difficult, but at most a little cumbersome. For completing these small tasks, the elixir master will earn points. In the association, points are like spirit coins, but they are much more precious than spirit coins. When a spiritual medicine master is in urgent need of money, he can use points to exchange for spirit coins, but this is only one way, and cannot be exchanged with spirit coins. Where's the accumulation? After browsing through the rules, Reagan and others opened their eyes wide, as if they had seen a ghost. What kind of elixir master association did Jason create? If it is really implemented, it will cause an uproar in the territory of chaos. Especially Gandalf, who is an elixir master himself, can clearly feel the attraction of this elixir master association to all the elixir masters in the territory of chaos. What about these material transactions? Everything is fine, and it is nothing in the territory of chaos. The previous trading center fully had this function. Of all the terms of the Spiritual Medicine Master Association, the most attractive one to the spiritual medicine masters is undoubtedly that the association will protect the safety of the spiritual medicine master, and in the association, you can use the contribution points to publish these two problems encountered in the preparation. In the territory of chaos, there is basically no elixir that exists alone. All elixirs must be attached to a family, and some slightly powerful elixirs must be hidden within the family and cannot be known to hostile forces. This is nothing less than an extremely sad thing for elixir masters who are prominent in other parts of the mainland. The emergence of the Spiritual Medicine Master Association has given all the spiritual medicine masters in the territory of chaos a place of refuge, so that some forces dare not do anything untoward against them. This alone can attract the entire territory of chaos. Lead most of the elixir masters. And this second point, that you can use contribution points to publish the problems encountered in the preparation process, is enough to drive some elixirs who are dedicated to improving themselves crazy. The territory of chaos is different from other places in the mainland. It is extremely chaotic. There are no elixir exchange organizations like the Elixir Guild that are common in other parts of the mainland. All the elixirs can only rely on their own forces and immerse themselves in research. If they encounter problems, there was no one to discuss it with. This also leads to one of the most important reasons why most elixir masters in the territory of chaos are below the level. Without communication between elixir masters, how can there be progress? Therefore, Gandalf can guarantee that the appearance of the Spirit Medicine Master Association in the territory of chaos will definitely cause a sensation in the entire territory of chaos. At this moment, everyone in the room was looking at Jason in the hall with bright eyes, awe shining in their eyes. I think everyone has read the Articles of Association of the Spiritual Medicine Master Association, but before that, we need to go to the Curie family to do something. Jason said after glancing at everyone. Curie family? Everyone looked at each other with awe in their hearts. Now in the City of Chaos, apart from the Kang's family and the Bayuan family, the Curie family has not suffered any losses. Although their elders Ronald and Patriarch Pierre both died in the maze of death, the Curie family, as a family of elixirs that has controlled the territory of chaos for thousands of years, owns most of the high-ranking people in the territory of chaos. The elixir master and the prescription, as well as Maria, the 6th-level low-level elixir master. Apart from Jason, after Pierre's death, Maria was the most powerful elixir in the entire chaos territory. As a family with such a huge interest, before the distribution and ownership issues were resolved, last month, the Bella family and the Perret family just imprisoned members of the Curie family in the City of Chaos in disguise, without taking any action. Move. But for his own plan of the Panacea Association, Jason must take down all the Curie family. It seems that Master Jesse is going to take action on the Curie family. Everyone in the hall felt at ease, and followed Jason towards the location of the Curie family in the Curie family mansion. All the members of the entire family with status were still gathered in the hall, talking about it. Fifth Elder, in my opinion, it is better to send someone to make peace with the Knockins family and let our two families work together to control this chaotic territory. In the hall, an old man with a gray beard sitting at the front of the hall stood up and came out. Voice. This person is the sixth elder of the Curie family, Nuan, who possesses the strength of a fifth-level intermediate elixir master. Known, you traitor, what qualifications does the Khan's family have to cooperate with us? In terms of qualifications, the Khan's family is just a small family that emerged from nowhere. Our Curie family has controlled the chaos. A large family that has been in the territory for thousands of years, and nearly half of the senior elixir masters in the entire chaos territory are from our Curie family. If you ask me, our two major families can cooperate, but our Curie family must take the initiative. The C family can only be an auxiliary. Another old man also stood up. This man is Narcy, the third elder of the Curie family. He has the strength of a fifth-level senior elixir master and is now second only to the fifth elder in the family. Maria. Third elder. Nanuan looked over coldly. You have to take a clear look at the current situation. Although the Kamsi family is weak, Master Jace and Master Lei are not vegetarians. Who in the family can stop them now? Are you going to live with them? Aren't the Bella family and the Perret family the three major families in the Chaos territory, and now they have become the dead souls of the two of them? Even the Bayuan family has cooperated with the Knockins family and is now in the city. Massively killing members of the Bella family and the Perret family, using the methods of Master Najis and Master Lei. Nars, it's okay if you harm yourself, but don't harm our entire Curie family. Known. Narcy looked over with a mocking look on his face. You keep calling Master Jace and Master Lei, you are a greedy guy who is afraid of death. You are eager to hug someone's lap before they even come here. You are simply losing our family. Although the Great Elder and Patriarch are no longer here, our Curie family's property has not suffered any losses. The Elixir members are all over the Chaos territory, not to mention the fifth Elder Maria is here. I think that Jace and Lei dare to attack our Curie family? Narth continued to sneer. Despite the current prosperity of the Kang's family, although the other major families have been severely damaged, their foundations in the territory of chaos have not been lost. If they gather, get up and launch a counterattack. I don't think it's certain whether the Kongsi family can gain a foothold in this chaotic territory. Clan Chief Reagan of the Bayuan family is also a fool. If it were me, I would have taken advantage of Na Lei's injury and tried my best to kill him seriously. After killing Na Lei, he also went to cooperate with the Nakansi family. I think the death of the leader of Na Lei is coming soon. After Lei recovers his strength, he will definitely kill him. When Narcy and Nuan were arguing, the other members of the direct lineage in the hall were also discussing in panic, and Maria, who was at the head of the hall, was also extremely irritable. As the most powerful person in the family today, Maria has become the support of all family members, but the future of the family fills her with confusion. Among the crowd, only Archimedes, who was sitting at the back of the hall, did not feel any pressure, but felt quite happy. With the help of Jason's bodybuilding spirit fluid, Archimedes, who was originally a third-level low-level spiritual master, actually reached the level of a third-level high-level spiritual master in just over 2 months, and was still a little short of it. He was able to break through to the 4th level, which made Archimedes very grateful to Jason. As for the issues discussed by everyone in the hall, perhaps it was because he did not have much sense of belonging to the Curie family, but Archimedes was extremely calm in his heart. Reagan, some people here say that you are a fool, and they also say that I will definitely kill you. TSK, I don't even know about this. How come this guy knows about it? Just as everyone was talking and arguing, a loud voice suddenly came from outside the hall. There was silence in the entire hall for a moment, and everyone turned their eyes to the door of the hall. In the eyes of everyone, Jason and a group of others walked in a mighty manner. Renaud, who followed Jason closely, looked at the third elder Narth with a half-smiling expression on his face. Narcy, who had been extremely tough before, suddenly turned extremely pale. Seeing Jason, Archimedes, who was near the door, showed a hint of surprise on his face and opened his mouth slightly. Jason smiled at him, and then set his sights on Maria at the head of the hall. Master Jace, Master Lay, and Chief Reagan, I don't know what they are talking about when they come to our Curie family. Seeing Jason and the others walking in without any notice, Maria couldn't help but reveal a trace of emotion on her face. With angry faces, she could imagine how the family guards guarding outside the hall and at the family door were doing now. Jason's eyes scanned the entire hall and he said, "From today on, the Curie family will become a subordinate family of the Kang's family." Jason didn't say any nonsense, as if issuing an order, he said what he wanted to say. Everyone in the entire hall was stunned. Even Tyson, Gandalf, Reagan and others looked at him in astonishment. What Jason said was so crisp and clear that it was difficult to recover for a while. "What?" someone exclaimed. "Subordinate family? Let us become a subordinate family of the Khan's family?" The faces of all the Curie family members in the hall became extremely ugly. They all thought of the Coolidge and other families a few days ago. They were also attracted by Perret. The family and the Bella family gained vassal families, but the final result was that all the power and property were confiscated, and the so-called vassal families were left with only empty frames with some members. "Master Jace, Master Lay, I admire your strength, but our Curie family is not something that can be manipulated by others." Maria and others' faces were extremely ugly. Regarding the belonging of their own family, they had imagined many situations and had discussed it before. In their minds, they had the possibility of cooperating with the Kang's family, and they also had other ideas, but they never had the idea of being absorbed by the Kang's family. Even the two major families, the Bella family and the Perret family, dare not make the slightest move against the Curie family easily. The appetite of the small Khan's family is a bit too big. The Curie family is different from other major families in that they have this capital. In the Stern Continent, the status of elixirs is extremely high. The reason why the Bella family and the Perret family dare not act easily is because of the identity of the Curie family as elixirs. The Curie family has been inherited in the territory of chaos for thousands of years. Almost half of the senior elixir masters in the entire territory of chaos are from the Curie family, and most of the elixirs on the market in the entire territory of chaos are also prepared by members of the Curie family. The Curie family is different from other families. If it is completely wiped out like the Perret family and the Bella family, it will lead to a mutiny among all the people in the entire chaos territory. In fact, because of the incident between Ronald and Patriarch Pierre, Jason did not have a good impression of the Curie family. It was precisely because they were both elixir masters and they might need to be used in the future that Jason did not kill them all, but the reaction of the Curie family at this moment made Jason's face darken. "Master Jace, I respectfully call you master." Narth stood up and said, "It is okay for our Curie family to cooperate with your Kang's family, but if we become a subordinate family of your Kang's family, please forgive us that we cannot do it. As elixir masters, we have our own dignity." Nars said with passion and impassioned emotion, which resonated with many people present, but many people's faces turned pale, for fear of offending Jason and the others were furious. Jason couldn't help but shook his head slightly. Why are there so many people in this world who don't know how to appreciate others? He cast his eyes on Reagan beside him. "Hey!" Reagan, who understood what Jason meant, waved his hand decisively, and an unparalleled blazing sword streaked towards Narcy like lightning. The powerful fire spiritual power surged, and the temperature in the entire hall suddenly rose. Dozens of degrees. "Third Elder, be careful," someone in the crowd exclaimed. Narth had a look of horror on his face. He didn't expect that he would take action at all. The spiritual power in his body spurted out and he tried to block it. At the same time, he said in horror, "Master Jace, not yet." By the time he finished speaking, the fiery red spiritual light had already struck hard on the protective shield that he had not had time to hold up in time. With the dragon flame sword, Reagan's strength is close to that of a 7th-level intermediate imperial spiritual master, but this Narcy is a 6th-level intermediate spiritual master. With a charged shot and a hasty resistance, Narcy the spiritual protective shield in front of him burst open like a soap bubble. After the fiery red spiritual light broke through the protective shield, it continued unabated and directly split Narcy into 2 halves. The scorching smell of flames burning muscles instantly filled the hall, and everyone's faces turned pale. "You clan chief Reagan, you are really too presumptuous." In the hall, several old men suddenly stood up suddenly. With angry looks on their faces, they looked at where Jason and the others were and yelled. They are all powerful people in the Curie family. Although they are not elders, their status in the family is comparable to elders. A flash of light suddenly burst out from Renault's eyes next to Jason. Several extremely bright golden lights suddenly shot up in the hall. They were as beautiful as the aurora in the night sky and extremely gorgeous. However, the cold murderous intention contained in them caused the temperature of the hall to rise suddenly due to Reagan's action earlier. It felt like falling into an ice cellar for an instant. "Master Lay, please stop." Sensing this extremely strong killing intent, Maria, who had been sitting silently at the head of the hall, suddenly widened her eyes and screamed in horror. Amidst her panic, golden light passed by without hesitation. The old men who had stood up earlier with angry faces had astonishment in their eyes, their mouths were wide open, but they could no longer speak. Their bodies falling to the ground with a crash. A large amount of blood spattered from the body with its head missing, staining the floor of the hall red. The entire hall was instantly filled with a strong smell of blood, and the air was so heavy that it was almost suffocating. Silence, deathly silence. All the members of the Curie family stared blankly at Jason and the others, with fright and pale faces on their faces, daring not to make the slightest move. "Madman, madman." At the front of the hall, the corner of Maria's mouth trembled. She never imagined that Jason and the others would kill directly without caring about the identities of those elders. Not to mention Narcy, the 5th-level senior elixir master. The other old men are also 5th-level spiritual masters. In the territory of chaos, they are definitely master-level figures and are praised by thousands of people. Existence. But it was these elixir masters that Nale didn't even look at, and he killed them directly without any hesitation. His clean and neat attitude shocked Maria and the other members of the Curie family present. Was speechless. The reason why Maria and the others had the courage to talk to Jason and the others was precisely because of their noble status as elixir masters. Not only were the people of the Curie family filled with disbelief, but Tyson and Gandalf, who were following Jason, and even Reagan, who took action, couldn't help but twitch the corners of their mouths twice. What they wanted to say was not spoken out. The 5th-level elixir master is almost always the number 1 elixir master in some of the Northwest kingdoms, and in the territory of chaos, he is enough to be proud of the entire territory of chaos, even the Per family and the Bella family. There are only 1 or 2 5th-level elixir masters in these 2 major families. With the noble status of the elixir master in the territory of chaos, if it were replaced by the Per family and the Bella family, no matter how arrogant Narth and the others were, these 2 families would never kill them on the spur of the moment. In fact, the status of the 5th-level elixir master is too high and noble. Every one of them is a huge wealth. But the scene that happened before instantly shattered the self-esteem and pride in the hearts of the Curie family members. Looking at Jason's extremely cold gaze in front of the crowd, Maria and others finally had a clear understanding of their situation. The person standing in front of them at this moment is not the Per family or the Bella family, but the Master Jace, they call them. Master Jace, who is that? That was Patriarch Pierre, who had defeated the 6th-level high-level elixir master, and was the genius elixir master who prepared the 7th level imperial elixir. Narcy and the others don't take their little knowledge of elixirs seriously at all. I'm afraid not only Narcy and the others, but even myself, a low-level 6th level elixir master, may not take it to heart either, right? Mary. You couldn't help but smile bitterly in his heart. It's like a scholar who has some knowledge about nuclear fusion wants to use his nuclear knowledge to negotiate terms with a force, but the leader of this force is himself a nuclear weapons expert and is much better than you in nuclear attainments. You say, will that leader care about you? The nature of the two is basically the same. How's it going? Have you guys thought about it? Are you willing to become a subordinate family of my Kongsi family, or do you have other ideas? Jason said indifferently, his tone calm and without any waves. If the Curie family was not needed in the future, Jason would not want to waste so much effort to persuade them. However, if the Curie family still refused to surrender, Jason would not mind combining the Curie family with the Perret family. The Bella family was also wiped out from the territory of chaos. What Elder Ronald and Patriarch Pierre of the Curie family did to them was no less serious than Daimler and Herbert. Master Jesse, our Curie family, is willing to become a subordinate family of the Kang's family. At the front of the hall, Maria came to Jason, lowered her originally proud head, and spoke with a bitter look on her face. In the hall, all the members of the Curie family had wry smiles on their faces. However, deep in the wry smile, there was a trace of relief, as if a big stone had fallen to the ground in their hearts. It was an extremely relaxed feeling. Maria couldn't help but sigh secretly in her heart. The fate of the Perret family, the Bella family, and the previous Nars made all the Curie family members put down their arrogance. No one wanted to resist the Kang's family. The fearful life of the past month has made their hearts extremely tired. No matter what the outcome is, at least from today on, they who have surrendered to the Kongsi family can sleep peacefully without worrying about someone suddenly coming in one day. Very well, everyone in the Curie family, I believe you will not regret your choice today. Jason said calmly, and then ordered to Reagan beside him, Reagan, please cooperate with Elder Maria, clean up the things in this Curie family, and give me a list when the time comes. Tyson's brows next to him couldn't help but twitch, and then he lowered his head. Although his expression was extremely subtle, it was still seen by Gandalf, who was standing next to him. Yes, Master Jace, Reagan said respectfully. Looking at the posture of Patriarch Reagan, a 7th level Imperial Spiritual Master, in front of Jason and the others, Maria, who had always thought that the Bayuan family was cooperating with the Kang's family, suddenly realized in her heart. I'm afraid that the Bayuan family has also become a subordinate family of the Kang's family, rather than a cooperative relationship. I had previously thought about negotiating terms with others, was I qualified? Now that the Curie family's affairs were settled, Jason was not ready to stay any longer, and the group turned and walked outside. When passing by Archimedes, Jason stopped and said, Archimedes, come to my place tomorrow. In the doubtful eyes of everyone in the Curie family, Archimedes Meade stood up suddenly and said with joy on his face, yes. Jason was not worried that Archimedes would be resentful of him. He knew that Archimedes had no sense of belonging to the Curie family. In fact, in history, Archimedes only began to make a name for himself on the mainland after leaving the territory of chaos. However, after he became famous, he never returned to the territory of chaos, nor did he say which family he was a member of. Except for Reagan and some members of the Kang's family and the Kitahara family who were waiting for orders outside and stayed with the Curie family to clean up their belongings and materials, it was completely dark when Jason and others returned to the mansion. Although everyone was extremely tired, their hearts were full of excitement. After dinner, Jason and Renaud returned to the room to rest. Tyson and the others arranged for Tyson to do the rest. Late at night, when Patriarch Tyson was busy with everything and was about to go back to his room to rest, he was stopped by Gandalf on the side. Tyson, are you worried? Tyson couldn't help but be stunned. Worried? He shook his head and said loudly, with Master Lei here, I have nothing to worry about. Although the Perret family and Bei, the Law family, has not been destroyed at the grassroots level in the territory of chaos, but they have lost their strongest force and cannot afford to make much splash. Their strength is all based on 7th-level players like Daimler and Vincent. There are no 7th-level Imperial Spiritualists among the Imperial Spiritualists. Not to mention that we will cause trouble for them. Even the other families in the territory of chaos will slowly eat away at them for us. That's not what I'm talking about. This is the Baiyuan family and the Curie family, you know what I mean. Gandalf stared at Tyson, his eyes were clear and his expression was very calm. Baiyuan family? Curie family? An imperceptible light flashed across Tyson's eyes. He was about to shake his head, but was interrupted by Gandalf. Tyson, you can deceive others, but you can't deceive me. In the Curie family hall, when Master Jace ordered Chief Regan to do things, the expression on your face completely betrayed your psychology. Tyson's face, the colors change, and I don't know what I'm thinking. After a long while, he let out a long sigh and said with a wry smile on his face, Gandalf, you are an old friend after all, and you understand me. With a hint of loneliness on his face, he said, no matter what is it the Baiyuan family or the Curie family. Although Master Jace said that it is a subordinate family of our Kang's family, whether it is the Regan family leader who is a 7th-level Imperial Spiritual Master or the Curie family who is a family of elixirs, the help to the Master, they are all much bigger than my Kongsi family. When the time comes, can our Kongsi family still maintain its position in the heart of the Master? This is Tyson's worry, which is very realistic and helpless. Confused, Gandalf suddenly shouted loudly, Tyson, I really don't know how to say good to you. Gandalf's face had an expression of hatred for steel. Do you really think Master Jace will care about all this? Gandalf looked at Tyson coldly. For a master of elixirs like Master Jace, in fact, the territory of chaos is not at all in his eyes. According to my estimation, the reason why Master Jace controls this chaotic territory is just for the elixir materials in the Cloud Swamp, which can be seen from the Articles of Association of the Elixir Masters Association he issued. Gandalf continued, you didn't see that Master Jace didn't move his family out at all, but just made your Kang's family the largest force in this chaotic territory, and made the Baiyuan family and the Curie family your subordinate families. Why? Because he doesn't like it. Do you think this territory of chaos belongs to you? Does it belong to your Kongsi family? Wrong, it belongs to Master Jace. Let's see what you are thinking about now. Completely, it's for the benefit of your Kongsi family. You have Master Jace as your master. What you need to do now is to be loyal, and loyal again. As long as you are loyal and fulfill your role honestly, it is enough to handle everything in this chaos territory for Master Jace. Master Jace will never treat you badly. This is better than anything you think. This is what you need to do most now, not think about anything. What about the Kitahara family? What about the Curie family? Tyson on the side was completely stunned. Gandalf's words were like a heavy hammer hitting the bottom of his heart, making him enlightened. Yeah, isn't it enough as long as you do things for Master Jace honestly? Tyson murmured, and a smile suddenly appeared on his face. At this moment, there was no more gloom in his heart, and he felt calm and magnanimous, and he felt extremely comfortable all over. In the early morning, the bright sunshine shines over the city of chaos, bringing warmth and sweeping away the haze that has shrouded the city of chaos these days. However, the entire city of chaos is still quiet, with not much noise. All the people are still staying quietly in their homes, seeming to be waiting for something. At this moment, all the people of the territory of chaos, listen, from today on, the only S-class family in the territory of chaos will be the Kongsi family. A rumbling voice suddenly sounded over the entire city of chaos, like roaring thunder, resounded over the entire chaotic city. Some people who are familiar with this voice can recognize that this voice is the voice of the Baiyuan family patriarch Regan, who is a 7th-level low-level Imperial Spiritual Master. The blockade of the city of chaos has been lifted. The 4 major city gates have been opened. All people, adventurers, and families in the territory of chaos can feel free to go out to do business or leave. The trading center has also been reopened. In addition, the Kongsi family has issued an important announcement in the trading center. All major families and all the people can go and inquire. After the thunderous roar said this, there was complete silence. Silence. The entire city of chaos fell silent under Reagan's words, and then buzz buzz, like a nest of disturbed bees, subtle comments came from everywhere in the entire city of chaos. Squeak. The doors of each family's mansion and residence were opened with a key, and many sneaky servants poked their heads out and looked around intelligently. After discovering that there were no members of the Kongsi family and the Baiyuan family who had been chasing down members of several major families in the past 2 days on the street, these humble servants all rushed towards the inner courtyard. "Master, it's safe on the street." "Sir, you can go out." "Chief, it's okay. There is no one outside." The noisy voices gradually sounded on the streets of the chaotic city, suppressed in their own homes or hotels. The people and adventurers who had been here for 2 days all walked out of the small space of their houses and came to the street today. Breathing the fresh air outside, everyone felt relieved and felt relaxed as they walked out of the darkness. "It's finally over," someone murmured. This family war that lasted for a month finally ended with the sudden emergence of the Kongsi family and the final victory. In the past 2 days, all the people have been on tenterhooks. However, the most nervous people are the members of the major families stationed in the city of chaos. They are even more afraid that one day a group of people will break into their family's mansion and let them surrender. The city of chaos is the center of the entire territory of chaos, and almost all the prominent forces in the territory of chaos have their bases in the city of chaos. For example, when the King's family was one of the 3 major families in Santa Fe City, they had a presence in this city of chaos. In the hearts of the members of these families, if the King's family wanted to control the entire territory of chaos, they would definitely the members of the family mansion, started. This frightening feeling almost drove them crazy, and all the families were so heavy that they couldn't breathe. But now, it's all over. Then the Kongsi family didn't ask us to hand over all our property and surrender? Some family members felt a little incredible in their hearts. With the current power of the Kongsi family, if they want to conquer these small families, these families will resist at all. However, the other party did not seem to have the slightest idea. Some suspicious families still did not dare to act rashly, and secretly sent a few members to the city gate to inquire about the situation to see if the King's family could really leave as the voice said before. Go. Those members secretly came to the city gate and found that the city gate was wide open. Only a small group of city guards were maintaining order, and some brave ordinary people could come and go freely. Only when these families really let go after understanding the situation in the city of chaos, the adventurers and families who originally wanted to leave were not in a hurry. Instead, they became curious about the important announcement from the King's family that Reagan said. Go to the trading center and have a look. People said hello one after another, and flocked to the trading center in the city. As the crowd moved forward, the road ahead gradually became congested. Obviously, for the people living in the chaotic city, it seemed like this important announcement from the Kongsi family is something that must be read. The trading center is located in the most prosperous center of the city of chaos. It covers an extremely wide area and is surrounded by a large square that can accommodate at least tens of thousands of people. But at this moment, the traffic in this area is almost paralyzed. Countless people are blocked in the square, unable to approach the Ani center. Wow! At this moment, a huge roar suddenly came from the direction of the trading center in the distance. Countless people were exclaiming in unison. The meaning in that voice was one of incomparable surprise. What's going on? Someone asked in confusion. I don't know, I can't squeeze through. The person next to him also said depressedly. What is the important announcement from the Kongsi family? Many people were full of curiosity. But unable to push forward, they could only stand in the square and worry, asking each other, but no one knew the content of the announcement. Oh my God, it's so cruel, it's so cruel. It seems that the Pear family and the Bella family are completely finished in the territory of chaos. Someone came out of it and shouted in shock. It's unbelievable. The Kongsi family can be said to be the only one in the territory of chaos now, but he actually promised to dominate the entire territory of chaos without using force. Another person's eyes were filled with disbelief. Elixir, the Kongsi family is actually preparing to sell the elixir openly in the territory of chaos. Everyone's faces were flushed with excitement. Brothers, what exactly is the announcement from the Kongsi family? As soon as these people came out, they were immediately surrounded by the people around them. They all looked at the people who had seen the announcement from inside with gleaming eyes, like hungry wolves seeing fresh meat, which actually frightened them. What's the content? TSK. However, after hearing everyone's questions, the shock on the faces of those people suddenly subsided, and instead they showed expressions of surprise. Their expressions instantly attracted everyone's attention. Hey, let me tell you, the Baiyuan family, one of the 8 major families in the territory of chaos, and the Curie family of the Elixir family, have become subordinate families of the Kang's family, one of them said. Also, originally, all members of the Pear family and the Bella family, the 3 major families in the territory of chaos, are rebels. Any family in the territory of chaos can attack the territories of these 2 families, and the Khan's family will not interfere with the captured territory, another person said. Any family that hides members of the 2 major families, the Pear family and the Bella family, will be regarded as a public enemy of the chaos territory, and the Kang's family will be chopped off. The Kang's family promises not to use force. Fighting for the territories of the current families in the territory of chaos, an elixirist association will be established in each family's territory and city, and no family is allowed to obstruct it. The most shocking thing is yet to come. It is said that the Kang's family is in this elixirist association. The central association openly sells elixirs, but they can only be exchanged for materials. These people immediately said everything they saw. Everyone present had different expressions on their faces. Some were surprised, some were confused, and some were surprised. Yes, but without exception, their faces were full of shock. The promise of the Kongsi family made them, the family members of the small and medium-sized forces in the territory of chaos, feel reassured. Some family members whose territories and family forces were close to the Pear family and the Bella family had their eyes filled with tears. Light comes. The Pear family and the Bella family were 2 of the 3 original families in the territory of chaos, occupying nearly 30% of the forces and cities in the entire territory of chaos. In the past, these small families were naturally unable to resist these 2 behemoths, but now, these 2 important members of the big family are dead and injured. All the 7th-level imperial spiritual masters have died, and even the elders of the 6th-level spiritual masters have died a lot. This has given all the small and medium-sized forces in the chaos territory, give us a chance. This news must be delivered to the family as quickly as possible. There are several family forces close to the members of the 2 major families. Xingfeng said secretly. By the way, what is the Spiritual Medicine Master Association? Someone in the crowd asked curiously. Elixir Medicine Association? It's probably something similar to the Elixir Medicine Union on the mainland. We don't know the details. We just heard that it seems that elixirs will be sold there after it is established. You can go and see for yourselves. Come on, we have to go back, those few people muttered. Sound Out pushed away the crowd and left. Everyone looked at each other, and some people hurriedly left the square and rushed towards the family headquarters. Basically, these people's families are close to the territories of the 2 major families, or have some relationship with the 2 major families. As for the rest, people continued to wait in the square. Those few people who looked like ordinary people did not pay attention to the Spiritual Medicine Master Association at all. But as the family sent to garrison in the city of chaos to inquire about information, they were full of curiosity about the Spiritual Medicine Master Association. Publicly selling elixirs? Are the king's family crazy? Many people were filled with disbelief. For a moment, the announcement from the Kongsi family blew through the city of chaos like a hurricane, quickly reaching everyone's ears, and spreading out from the city of chaos at the speed of wind, in the extreme. It spread throughout the chaos territory in a short period of time. In this announcement from the Kongsi family, there are undoubtedly 3 points that are the most shocking. The first is that any family in the territory of chaos can conquer the territories of the Per family and the Bella family. The Kongsi family will not interfere at all in the territory obtained by Shur's successful attack. The second is that the Kongsi family promised not to use force to compete for the current family territory in the territory of chaos. The third one is the mysterious Medicine Master Association. For a moment, everyone was filled with doubts. What on earth is the Kang's family doing? What kind of medicine is sold in the gourd? While all the families and people in the entire chaos territory were discussing the announcement of the Kongsi family and were confused, Jason rarely had a moment of leisure in the Kongsi family mansion. Now basically everything is on track, and everything is arranged by the Kang's family. Jason, who rarely had time to spare, finally started counting his trophies. The Bella family, the Perret family, the Curie family, and the Coolidge family are the 8 major families that control the territory of chaos. Among them, the longest family, the Curie family, has been rising in the territory of chaos for thousands of years. Or hundreds of years. The wealth of these big families has now been transported to the mansion of the Kang's family. It is almost filled with all the warehouses of the Kang's family. Jason can't help but feel excited as he checks them one by one. This inspection immediately made Jason extremely happy. In Jason's original imagination, although Coolidge and other 5 major families have been inherited in the territory of chaos for hundreds of years, in terms of financial resources, they should not have more wealth than his own family, the Todd family. Although the Todd family does not dominate one party, as one of the 3 major families in the Kingdom of Orlando, it also has a history of hundreds of years, and the Northwest countries are different from the territory of chaos. The territory of chaos is extremely chaotic, with large and small wars happening every day. The economy here is completely dependent on the medicinal materials produced in the Cloud Swamp. Although the 5 major families such as Coolidge are powerful, there are many places where they need to spend money. Whether it is developing power or raising an army requires a lot of financial resources. In terms of financial resources, Coolidge and other 5 major families may not have more than the Todd family. This is especially true for the 3 major families such as the Per family. Although the strongest among them has been inherited for thousands of years, it is impossible to be richer than His Majesty Leasant of the Kingdom of Orlando. The result is the same. The combined wealth of these big families is almost the same as that of the entire Kingdom of Orlando. The wealth of a region that is extremely chaotic and full of humiliation and killing every day cannot be equaled by a peaceful region like the Northwest countries. In fact, Jason didn't care about the money of these big families. What he cared about was the elixir materials collected by these big families. Regarding this, Jason was also prepared to be disappointed. The reason why the elixir materials are precious, that is compared to elixirs, who can use these materials to prepare a large number of high-grade elixirs. However, in the territory of chaos, a place where elixirs are extremely lacking, unless you obtain the extremely precious cloud mist spirit fruit, the materials, and most of the other materials, will be transported out of the territory of chaos, and then sold on the mainland, exchanged for elixirs and spiritual coins, and then used to develop forces and train warriors, forming a cycle with each other. But the understanding of chaos, do you have a large number of extremely precious elixir materials such as cloud mist spirit fruit and ghost grass, which are at the 7th level or higher? Obviously impossible. It is good for the chaos territory to be close to the cloud mist swamp, but in the past, the entire Chaos territory was the strongest. The great existences are Daimler and these 7th-level intermediate imperial spiritual masters. And some extremely precious materials are usually found in the deepest parts of the cloud swamp. In those places, it is extremely dangerous for 7th-level imperial spiritual masters like Daimler to enter. As the top forces of a family, Dai Lu and others generally would not go out on adventures at will, which also led to the fact that there were not many top elixir materials in the territory of Chaos. This can be seen from the fact that the Cloud Mist Spirit Fruit is a specialty product in the Cloud Mist Swamp, and when Jason wanted to exchange it for the spiritual potion, only the Curie family had one. For example, the Kingdom of Orlando is close to the most mysterious Spirit Beast mountain range among the 7 dangerous areas in the mainland. The northwest countries close to the Spirit Beast mountain range are like a distribution center for the mainland Spirit Beast spirit cores, selling a large number of low-level spirit cores to the mainland. Various empires and forces, but there are not many high-level spiritual cores in the northwest countries. It's not that there are no high-level spiritual beasts in the Spiritual Beast mountain range, but that the northwest countries cannot obtain them at all, and the same is true for the territory of Chaos. Therefore, at the beginning, Jason did not have any hopes for the rare materials collected by these big families. What hope? But when Jason actually counted the materials in the warehouse, the result was far beyond Jason's expectation, which made Jason really excited. Flame Star Stone, Star Lobster Leaf Grass, Dream Rainbow Stem. Each piece of material passed by Jason's eyes, making Jason's face slightly flushed with excitement. He quickly put all the pieces of material into the space ring. The materials selected are actually not of high grade. Most of them are 6th-level materials. Compared with the 7th-level Cloud Spirit Fruit and Ghost Grass, they are 1 level lower and cannot be used as 7th-level Emperor-level materials. The main materials of potions. But these materials are also extremely precious materials. Although they cannot be used as main materials, they are auxiliary materials for 7th-order Emperor-level spiritual potions and even 8th-order Emperor-level spiritual potions. And it is also an irreplaceable auxiliary material. More importantly, some of these materials can be used to prepare some extremely powerful 6th-order spiritual potions, such as the Emperor Breaking Potion and the Spirit Master Potion. What made Jason even more excited was that among the pile of materials, he also found 2 violent spirit fruits, which made Jason smile with a smile on his face. With these 2 violent spirit fruits, Jason can prepare a 6th-level high-level spirit potion that can directly raise a person to a higher level. When he walked out of the warehouse, Jason's space ring was already filled to the brim with all kinds of elixir materials. This time it was so full that it was not like the last time I competed with Pierre, when the several tens of % of elixir materials brought out by several major families were stuffed into it all at once. Every material in the space ring this time is leftover after Jason selected it. Although Jason may not be able to use it now, it is definitely extremely rare. Some originally good materials were even forced to be taken out by Jason due to space constraints. Master Jace, just when Jason came out of the warehouse, Tyson walked over from the side. I have already issued the announcement you asked me to issue at the trading center, and the headquarters of the Panacea Medicine Association in the City of Chaos has been renovated into a building next to the trading center. However, so far, most of the elixir masters are just waiting and watching. It seems that no one has joined, Tyson reported. Well, Jason nodded, but seemed very casual. These elixir masters are just waiting and watching. When someone really tastes the sweetness, more people will join in. The rest of the people in the territory of Chaos, you should also step up your preparations for the local elixir association. Let's go and have a look. Tyson responded and immediately followed Jason, walking towards the direction of the elixir association. In Jason's mind, he didn't actually care about the territories of the 2 major families, the Per family and the Bella family. Territory is just a formality. Currently, the three major families, the Kangs family, the Kitahara family, and the Curie family, can control the original territories of the Kitahara family and the Curie family, plus the Coolidge family, the Rona family, and the Carl family. The territories of these three major families are completely sufficient. What Jason wants in his mind is to use the Spiritual Medicine Master Association to slowly control the spiritual medicine masters, spiritual medicine materials and spiritual medicine market in the entire territory of chaos, and then, through the Spiritual Medicine Master Association, control the entire territory of chaos in disguise. This has an absolute advantage compared to letting the Kangs family fight against the territory of chaos. Chaos Territory Trading Center. Originally, next to the square of the trading center, there were several large buildings belonging to the Curie family and other three major families. However, now, these buildings have been remodeled and stand next to the trading center with majestic momentum. It looks extremely atmospheric. Above the door of the most majestic building among these buildings, there is a stone medallion with a preparation bottle engraved on it. Next to the preparation bottle is a test tube leaning against some liquid. It seems to be swimming in the test tube, and it looks lifelike. At a glance, you can tell that this badge is the work of a master sculptor. This is the emblem of the Elixir Society, designed by Jason. In the square in front of the Spiritual Medicine Master Association, many people peered in, full of curiosity. This is the main building of the Medicinal Medicine Association. You must be a medicinal practitioner to enter, and you need to be a member before you can enter. Although many people in the crowd in the square were elixir masters who came here because of their reputation, no one actually joined. They were all quite cautious in the face of unknown affairs, especially in the territory of chaos. No one dares to act rashly. Give way, please give way quickly, please. At this moment, there was a sudden noise in the square, and then a group of adventurers rushed over from outside the square. The leader was a big man in armor, with a tough face, but with anxiety. The eyes of everyone present were instantly focused on this team of adventurers. "Isn't this Captain Terrence of the Doomsday Dusk Adventure Group?" someone in the crowd said. The Doomsday Dusk Adventure Group is a well-known adventure group in the territory of chaos. Its leader, Terrence, is a powerful 6th-level intermediate spiritual master. The adventure group also has a station in the City of Chaos, so it is well known to many people. Captain Terrence? Hey, it's really him. The one next to him should be Deputy Commander Roger, right? What's wrong with him? The man's reminder immediately attracted the attention of many people to his adventurous team. He revealed the identity of the perpetrator and at the same time set his sights on the man behind Captain Terrence. This is a middle-aged man with blonde hair, with bulging veins on his forehead, red and swollen eyes, a painful look on his face, a faint trace of fishy red, and a stench. "This is the bloody poisonous regret of the scarlet poisonous spider," someone in the crowd exclaimed, with inexplicable fear on his face. The scarlet poison spider, a 5th-level spiritual beast, is a highly poisonous fire beast unique to the Cloud Swamp. The scarlet poisonous spider is good at lurking in the mire and swamps, and then delivers a fatal blow to people. Its speed is as fast as lightning. If it makes a sudden attack, even a 6th-level spiritual master will be caught in its path instantly if it is not careful. Although the scarlet poison is only at the 5th level, for adventurers who venture into the Cloud Swamp, the scarlet poison is definitely the least willing to encounter among all the 5th-level spirit beasts, even more so than the 5th-level spirit beast. The two-headed corpse eagle, a flying spiritual beast of the highest order, is even more embarrassing to talk about. In terms of strength, the scarlet poison spider is not very powerful among 5th-level spirit beasts, but its hunting style and poisonous attacks are the last thing any adventurer wants to encounter. Generally speaking, even if a 5th-level spirit beast cannot be defeated by a 5th-level sect spirit master, it may not be killed. It can escape even if it is seriously injured. However, the bloody venom brewed in this scarlet poisonous knee can only be killed by a 5th-level spiritual beast. If a sect spirit master encounters him without a special antidote, he will definitely die. Even a 6th-level sect spirit master who is poisoned can often only harbor hatred for Jiuquan. This toxin is a mental toxin that directly acts on the mind and spirit of the spiritual master. It is not like the toxins of ordinary spiritual beasts that act on the blood and body. Once bitten, the venom will instantly invade the mind and make the poisoned person unconscious, gradually fell into madness, and then died of ulcers all over his body. The toxins that generally act on the blood and body, if bitten on the arms or legs, are really incomprehensible to the adventurers. If they cut off the arms or legs at the moment of poisoning, they can still survive, but once they are bitten by the bloody poisonous red spider, they can still survive. Venom, then you will have to wait for death. The toxin of the bloody venom is really too strong. Even the 5th-level antidote potion will not help. It can only delay the breathing for a while, but will make the poisoned person more painful and fall into madness, unable to survive or die. Only the 6th-level antidote potion can completely eliminate the poison of this bloody venom, but the 6th-level antidote potion is so precious. In the territory of chaos, a place where elixirs are extremely lacking, it almost exists in legends and is difficult to find. Trace. Otherwise, when Jason put those magic potions in the interrogation center, he wouldn't have made the entire chaos territory so crazy. It's over, this Deputy Captain Roger is completely finished. The Scarlet Poison Special, my god, where did this doomsday adventurer go to the Cloud Swamp to end up with such a vicious creature? This Deputy Captain Roger, I heard that the leader is only in his 30s. It's a pity. I heard that he reached the realm of the 5th-level senior spiritual master a few years ago and is currently working towards the 6th-level spiritual master. Such a talented person is actually here today. I'm going to die. Someone in the crowd sighed. If Deputy Captain Roger continues to practice, in a few decades, another 7th-level Imperial Spiritual Master might appear in the Chaos territory. Even if he fails, this Roger becoming a 6th-level Spiritual Master is a sure thing. It's really weird. Why did Captain Roger come here after he was poisoned by the bloody venom? Someone asked again in confusion. During the discussion, everyone backed down one after another, with panic on their faces, for fear of half-stained. In fact, everyone knows that the bloody venom is not contagious, but its powerful toxicity still makes everyone feel chills and chills stand on end. In the territory of chaos, there once was a patriarch of a large family who was a 6th-level spiritual master. After being poisoned by bloody venom, he took a bottle of 5th-level antidote and relied on his own strength to suppress the toxicity of the venom. Unexpectedly, it ended up being poisonous. Dafa, he fell into madness, killed nearly 100 people in the family mansion, and then died of ulcers all over his body, which once caused heated discussions in the territory of chaos. Most people were afraid that Deputy Captain Roger's toxicity would suddenly break out, and then he would massacre in the square. Even though they were among a large number of people, they still felt a little uneasy in their hearts. In the eyes of everyone with regret and confusion, the leader of the Doomsday Dusk Adventure Group, Terrence, led Roger and a group of members, and quickly arrived at the door of the Spiritual Medicine Master Association. Stay here, for a few of you. This is the headquarters of the Alchemist Association. Only members of the association can enter. The 2 guards of the Kongsi family who were on duty at the entrance of the Alchemist Association stopped Terrence and others with cold expressions, but they did not care about the other party's words. There is no slight change in identity or the poison on Roger's body, showing his good qualities. 2 eldest brothers, I am a 4th-level elixir master. I want to join the Elixir Master Association and become a member. Roger said respectfully with pain and urgency on his face. The 2 guards looked up at Roger and said, in that case, let's go in and verify. Roger nodded and hurriedly walked into the Alchemist Association, while Terrence and others stood quietly waiting outside the Spiritual Medicine Association. What? Is this Deputy Captain Roger a 4th-level elixir master? Someone in the crowd exclaimed. The 4th level low-level elixir master in the territory of chaos is definitely an extremely powerful elixir master. However, in the past, Roger often appeared in front of everyone as the deputy leader of the Doomsday Dusk Adventure Group. 5. Although he is a high-ranking sect spirit master, he has never revealed that he is a spiritual medicine master. In the territory of chaos, the elixir master is definitely an extremely dangerous identity. As powerful as the Doomsday Dusk Adventure Group, they dare not let others know that their deputy leader is a low-level 4th level elixir master. What a pity, what a pity. Everyone had a stronger assessment of Roger's future. Unfortunately, such a talented person was poisoned by bloody venom and died soon. At the same time, everyone present also had a doubt in their minds. Why did Deputy Captain Roger join the Spiritual Medicine Master Association after he was poisoned? Could it be an idea popped up in everyone's mind? Soon, Roger walked out of the Spiritual Medicine Association. He held a card in his hand, which was the membership card of the Spiritual Medicine Association. "Roger, have you become a member?" Terence said anxiously. Roger frowned and nodded in pain. "Okay." Terence hurriedly took out a crystal-clear crystal box from his body. As soon as the crystal box was taken out, the air was filled with an intoxicating fragrance. Fragrant crystal. Many of the people present were elixir masters, and they immediately recognized the crystal box in Lance's hand. It was actually the extremely rare fragrant crystal in the mainland. However, more people looked through the transparent crystal box and looked at the thing stored in the crystal box. This is a full text. Oh. The emerald green bamboo stems are like emeralds. On the emerald green bamboo stems, there are actually colorful stripes. And in the colorful bamboo stems, a tube of rainbow-like liquid is gently flowing. Flowing and magnificent. Isn't this? Some knowledgeable elixirs suddenly widened their eyes, with shock in their eyes. Outside the crowd, Jason and Tyson had just arrived, and happened to see the previous one. In one scene, after seeing the crystal box, Jason also had a surprised expression on his face. With his attainments in elixir science, he could tell at a glance that what Captain Terence was holding was actually the legendary essence of the rainbow. Rainbow essence, a marrow fluid grown in mutant Yubi bamboo, is an extremely rare and precious elixir material. In the Book of Eternal Medicine, there is a record of the elixir material of Yubi bamboo, which is a kind of emerald-like bamboo. After growing for 100 years, the bamboo stems at its roots will produce a marrow liquid. This marrow liquid is an extremely precious 6th level elixir material, and can be used as the main material for a variety of 6th level elixirs. Usually in a large area of Yubi bamboo, if by chance, a colorful Yubi bamboo can grow. This colorful Yubi bamboo is the king of all Yubi bamboos, and if this colorful Yubi bamboo grows for 1,000 years, the bamboo stem at its root will produce a colorful marrow fluid, which is the essence of the rainbow. Rainbow essence is a 7th level elixir material. In terms of elixir use, it is superior to cloud spirit fruit and ghost grass, so it is extremely precious. Captain, I still won't redeem it. Seeing the rainbow essence taken out by Terence, Roger had a trace of hesitation on his painful face. This rainbow essence should be the property of all the members, and it cannot be wasted because of me. Brother, don't keep so many in your hands. Terence put the crystal box into Roger's hands without hesitation. He looked directly into Roger's eyes and said, "Compared with your life, although this rainbow essence is rare, it is not enough at all." He said, "Exchange it for the antidote potion." I don't believe that a rainbow essence cannot be exchanged for a 6th level antidote potion. Yes, Deputy Captain, take it. Hurry up and exchange for the antidote from the Alchemist Association. We all need you. A group of adventurers behind Terence also said something. Wow. After hearing Terence say the name of rainbow essence, all the elixir masters who had vaguely guessed it before burst into an uproar. Rainbow essence, it's really rainbow essence. All the discerning elixirs present couldn't help shouting in their hearts, their faces flushed with excitement. Senior, what is this rainbow essence? Some onlookers who didn't know what the rainbow essence masked was couldn't help but asked. However, the old man next to him was completely unaware. He just stared blankly at the crystal box in Tehran's hand and murmured, "What is the essence of the rainbow?" "A priceless treasure, a priceless treasure." During the conversation between C and Roger, everyone in the square also knew what the Doomsday Adventure Group wanted to do. They actually wanted to use this rainbow spirit to exchange for a 6th-level antidote at the Spiritual Medicine Association. But will this elixir association really exchange it? Everyone's hearts are full of doubts. Although rainbow essence is rare, 6th-level antidote potions are not commonplace. In the entire Chaos territory, except for Master Jess of the Kang's family, only Maria, the original 5th elder of the Curie family, is a 6th-level master of elixir. Moreover, the entire Chaos territory is now dominated by only the Kongsi family. If the Kongsi family covets Rainbow Spirit and takes it away directly, the Doomsday Dusk Adventure Group will be unable to resist at all and will have nowhere to complain. In fact, Roger and the others were worried about the same thing, but at this time they had no choice but to treat the situation like a dead horse. "Do you want to redeem the Rainbow Essence Mask at the Spiritual Medicine Master Association?" At this moment, a majestic voice suddenly came from outside the crowd. The crowd gradually gave way, and a young man and a middle-aged man appeared in front of everyone. In front of him, he came to Terrence and Roger. It was Jason and Tyson who were standing outside before.